I meet lots of interesting people who I want to help, and the best way for me to give back is to quickly share who they're helping professionally and who they wish they could privately or philanthropically help more. And I help you by keeping the interview short and sweet. People in my circle can pick and choose who to directly and indirectly help with their business or charitable contributions. Who are you helping? Don't forget to subscribe or follow me on YouTube and TikTok so they start paying me to do more content like this. Let's get started. Hey, how's it going? I'm Dan Fredenberg, and this is for Who Are You Helping? I'm joined today with Laura, and is it Pamatian? Is that how?
Pamatian. Yep, Pamatian, close enough.
Pamatian. Okay, cool. Pamatian. I can remember that. All right. Far out. So this is a Who Are You Helping episode. And if you haven't seen any of these before, the skinny is there are people who appear in my circle who they might not be commercial real estate syndicators like I normally interview in Chance Encounters. Hint, hint, if you are one, let's book that appointment because it's free and it's just vetting and documenting for 506B compliance. The Anyways, when I have somebody in my circle where I know that syndicators like presumably you are going to be watching, I want to find out what is it that this person does, and I want to package it up in the most condensed way possible. But before we get too excited about that, Laura, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah, sure. And Dan, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate what you're doing. I feel like, compliance is everything, right? Regulation, painting in the lines, all of those things. And I know that you're doing exactly that. So I appreciate you having me. My name is Laura Pamatian. I have been in real estate and development for 20 years. I started in general brokerage on the island of Maui, and then I niched into luxury pre-construction, hotel branded resort real estate. So product like Ritz-Carlton Residences, Mandarin Oriental, Auberge, Fairmont, Grand Hyatt. Ended up in the Caribbean on several projects. And then 12 projects later, long story short, I pivoted into the blockchain space.
Excellent, excellent. So the first question we always ask on Who Are You Helping is who do you help professionally? And to box that in a little bit for you, the reason why I always ask that question first is because I've got a background in digital marketing and the online funnels. And so I know that one of the biggest hurdles that an entrepreneur will ever have is figuring out a way to, they call it messaging, just a way to phrase what you do in a way that's exciting to people in that prospective audience. And the way that I get people to get down to that messaging is I say, well, who do you help professionally? And sometimes it's difficult to express, that may be surprising to you, but and I have to bring it down to, well, there's somebody out there who gives you money on a fairly regular basis, and they only do that if they have a good reason. What is that reason? Like, what is it that you do? Laura, who do you help professionally then with this blockchain?
So we're helping real estate owners of commercial property, typically owners, developers, syndicators, sponsors. We're assisting in implementing AI and blockchain into their real estate projects. We have a lot of traction with tokenization. So we're utilizing that technology, assisting with fully compliant SEC regulated security token offerings to help raise capital, also to help create the option of liquidity in existing assets and also those assets that they're going to offer to their investors.
Excellent, excellent. So we're talking about owners of commercial real estate, and the advantages would be that once you have enough adoption that you can get liquidity, and therefore it's better than just common stock in LLCs and things like that. So that's correct.
Yeah, so it might be, should I give you an example of a
Go ahead.
product and that would make sense? So
hmm
you have a multifamily property, maybe it's $50 million multifamily apartment building, you have equity in that building, and you need $10 million to do a renovation of that building, or maybe you need it for something else, an acquisition or maybe a new build. And we can assist by creating a security token offering, which is a traditional SEC compliant real estate offering for interest, equity interest in that product. And when the investors come in and capitalize that $10 million, the owner can then go deploy that $10 million. And now those investors have a equity interest in the property, right? They could potentially have dividends being paid. They could have the right of capital appreciation over time, those kinds of things, right? Very traditional.
Mhm.
The one thing that tokenization is very why it's so desirable, one of the main reasons is because it helps create the option of liquidity in the asset and the investment. So the investor traditionally will come with a large amount of capital. They have to stay in that asset for 5 to 8 years, 3, 5, 8 years, whatever that might be. And tokenization is assisting in creating the option of liquidity in a year's time, right? If you're doing your raise under A, which majority of raises are done under Reg D, you have a 12-month restricted resale. So after those 12 months, the investor would have the option at their leisure to exit all or a part of their investment, which is a huge advantage for the issuer, right? When they're out there competing for accredited investors, say, right? Because accredited investors, as we know, they can invest in anything they want, and you're competing with everyone else's deal out there. So we're able to give you a competitive edge by offering them the option of liquidity.
Wow, that's a beautiful answer. So that's the first question. Who do you help professionally? The next question, I want to tell you where it came from. The next question is who do you wish you could help more? And the reason I asked that question is because I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm from the internet. Okay, and so wherever I actually live physically, I notice that they're always encouraging shop local, support your local businesses, which is great because, like you can kick them in the shins if they rip you off or something like that. But when it comes to the internet, I'm going like, well, how do you choose who to allocate your professional dollars to? And the best way in to my thinking is you find out who are the secondary benefactors of choosing my guest professionally. So some people, I got to tell you, Laura, they're overachievers. They have orphanages around the world or something like that. But others, we've just never been in a situation where we can spend a large amount of time with our families. And so that's really the reason why they work a lot harder. But Laura, personally, professionally, philanthropically, whatever you want, who's out there that you wish you could help more?
From a professional standpoint, or from more on a personal perspective?
Whatever you're more comfortable with.
Okay, so I advocate against child trafficking. I've been doing that for several years. So that is something that is really important to me. That cause came into my viewpoint through an organization called Operation Underground Railroad, and they are a nonprofit that exists to rescue children from sex trafficking all over the world. So if there's, from to answer your question, it would be those people.
I love that. I love that. And the next question, then, sometimes I like to imagine that the people in the camera, they're like a genie from the lamp, or, Santa Claus, who's sitting on his lap, and you get to say whatever it is, like, how can people help you, Laura?
So for me, professionally, with what I'm trying to help others with, connecting us with those who may have interest in working with us, right? Those that are owning commercial properties, portfolios of product. We've helped those tokenize funds, acquisition funds. We've helped those who have portfolio of residential product to tokenize. So we're working through a lot of that. Those contacts would be ideal, I think, for me, but also for them, right? Making that introduction and giving them a value add to what they're doing could be beneficial for everyone.
All right, beautiful. And then as far as how to reach out, me, I'm easy to find, especially on LinkedIn. I got a distinct last name there. This QR code, if you scan it, it brings you to the FAQs page of 506BME, which is the platform I offer syndicators to document their investor relations, so that if the SEC ends up auditing you, you have that documentation of that substantive relation. But Laura, as far as how to help you in the ways you mentioned the tokenization side. You also mentioned that Operation Underground Railroad, if I got that right. How can people help or get in touch to help in those two ways?
Yeah. I mean, same thing with you, right? My name is very unique. I'm the only one on the entire World Wide Web with my name. So I'm very easy to find. I'm on LinkedIn as well. And my website is height0realestate.com. You're more than welcome to find me there as well.
Right, right. And then that charity is, do you know the website off the top of your head, or they just,
Yeah, OURrescue.org
okay.
is the website. And yeah, thank you for allowing me to share that on your show. I very much appreciate it.
Awesome, awesome. So that is who Laura helps professionally. That's who she wishes she could help more, and how people can help her and how to reach out. But Laura, my last question is, did you know that if the people in the audience hit that hideous red button that says subscribe under my hand here, did you know that that helps me?
I did not know that.
Yeah, right. And it's totally free. And actually, just so you know, it costs nothing. All it does is it means that YouTube might start paying for these videos instead of me. And I think that'd be really awesome. And as far as you're concerned, what it means is that my videos might show up on your list of suggestions, but you can go ahead and ignore those suggestions. I just appreciate the fact that you spent this time with me. Just like Laura, I appreciate you joining me today. This has been great.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would subscribe because that's just more education for you, right?
Exactly.
For
I
them.
love it. I love it. Thanks a lot.
I just want to tell you, because I've actually seen your website, Real Estate is a Scam, before, and I loved it.
Oh,
And,
cool.
yeah, because I think it's really so spot on. There's good stuff, bad stuff in every industry.
Yeah, make sure you subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell. For Dan the Man.
And thank you. Turn that subscribe button from red like his beard to gray like his beard will be.
So I met Dan through some networking groups for real estate investing. He's a great guy from what I know about him. He's very ambitious, and he makes it easy to come on with his questions, and has a great setup. It's easy, it's clear, concise, and I'd recommend going on his interviews for anyone that's considering it.
It was unlike anything I've ever experienced. It was super fun. The process was so easy, a caveman can do it. I mean, if you guys haven't done it yet, you guys need to get on his calendar. Just take 15 minutes of your time, get exposure, find out who Dan is, what he's about. He's a true trifecta. And if you don't know who he is, get in touch with him. Google his name, find him on LinkedIn, do whatever you can. Just reach out to him.
So I really appreciate the format. Like I've told you a couple times before, I think it's really great because me personally, I'm very long-winded. I have to purposefully make things more concise, but the way I take things in is I definitely prefer things to be concise and straight to the point and concentrated. And the chance encounters really do that great for individuals. So you can get a good grasp on who they are, what do they do, why do they do it, what space do they operate in. That's why I love chance encounters.